everyone. Welcome to the Unscaled Travel Show. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. I'm joined with my co-host, as always, co-explorer, Amy Long.
Hi.
We got a fun show lined up for me from all around the world. We are talking and celebrating spirits. And I'm not talking about the paranormal. I'm talking, adult beverages, alcohol, if you will. From different regions, different festivals, traditions. We're going to get to, there's so many. We can't possibly get to all of them, but we've selected a few that we've found over our travels over the last few years. And, some of these are just now in the last 5-7 years or so catching on in the United States. Some of them have been around for a while. And, a little bit of history, a little bit of fun for everything. And a little bit later on in the show, we're going to talk to Bridget Albert, who is a mixologist and the host of the very, very popular Served Up podcast, where they deep dive into different drinks and spirits and wines and everything from across the world, around the world. And it's always a lot of fun listening to their show. So I'm really happy that we got to talk to Bridget. Let's start out with one of your favorites. I know over the last couple of years, Amy, you have done some extensive traveling in Mexico. You've been there a number of times for business. And every single time, it seems like you end up in one particular, with one particular spirit put in front of you, and that is Mezcal.
I do like Mezcal. I do go to Mexico kind of regularly for work, and many times I have been taken to tequila tastings, which I'm a fan of tequila too, but I personally really enjoy Mezcal. I love the smoky taste of it, and I like trying drinks that typically have like a regular tequila, but they make with Mezcal instead, like a mezcalrita, which is just a margarita, but with that Mezcal, and that smoky flavor changes it up. Love it. And I'm really enjoying trying new mezcals. Some people don't like it. They don't enjoy that smoky taste. I do. I think it brings a new flavor to your drink.
Well, over the last decade, like I said, Mezcal has really started to permeate the U.S. market. And they also send it off mainly to Japan.
Oh.
U.S. and Japan are mainly their two exported countries. But it's starting to find its way, starting to find a foothold in Europe. But for our European brethren, I don't know, listeners who are out there who may not know it yet, it isn't, it is kind of related to tequila. They are both from the agave plants that you could find in these in South America and such. But its history goes back to the 16th century. You're talking like pre-Spanish Empire, Mexico. And it's called the elixir of the gods. Why? Because rumor has it, or legend has it, that lightning hit the agave plant, split it open, and the heart of the agave, which is the part that you cook for tequila and you roast for mezcal, was instantly kind of transformed into this the
smoky, wonderful goodness.
And basically, that's where they got to call it the elixir of the gods. So, and that is kind of how you make it. You take the hearts of the agave plant, they cut it open, they throw it in this pit, they put some hot rocks on top of it, they roast it for several days, and that's how it gets that smoky flavor. So, you've been to, now countless tastings of mezcal, and there's all kinds of brands.
Yeah.
But, tell us a little bit about some of the more interesting times that they've put mezcal in front of you.
So the last tequila tasting that I went to in Mexico, I was in Cancun for work, and as a gift to us for bringing our business there, the venue wanted to do a tequila tasting with us, and they brought out, I think it was 5 different types of tequila and a mezcal. And they kind of walked us through the distilling process and how the different tequilas, you go from more of your lower tier tequila to the Cristalino, and how it's different, how they make it. And as we're trying the different things, they're putting, I'll call them garnishes, out for you to try. So everything from lemon and lime and orange and even some like spices on the table, and telling us with each of the different tequilas you try, if you use a different garnish, it's going to change the flavor. So you may like this one with orange, but you use lime and it totally changes the flavor. One of the garnishes they put out, I thought it was some type of nut. I wasn't sure what it was. And they had to tell us, and it was actually dried crickets. So insects.
Your favorite thing?
Yeah, no.
I didn't know they did.
And there was a very specific one that they told my group and I to try this tequila with this cricket, and I just couldn't do it. I'm sorry. I could not get past the mental aspect of eating bugs. It was a whole fear factor moment in my head. So I didn't do it. I tried everything else, not the crickets. The rest of my small group did. They said, oh, it's great. To make it even more interesting, the restaurant decided to bring us out some appetizers, tapas, to have with, they're getting us drunk. They want to feed us a little bit. And so they bring out some little plates with tostadas on it. And I thought, again, it was some type of dried something on top of the meat. You really couldn't tell. And the gentleman running the restaurant was very nice, and he asked the server not to give me that one and to go make me a separate one because the tostadas had the ground dried crickets mixed up in the meat. Everybody else ate it. They thought it was wonderful. I just couldn't do it. I can't do crickets.
Oh, what? You can't? Okay, I understand that. Well, traditionally, folks in Mexico know you drink it straight. They sip it. But you can. It is starting to catch on with cocktails, like you said. Traditionally, they serve it with like slices of orange or lime or lemon. But there is a mix, which is ground fried larvae, ground chili peppers, and salt. They call it worm salt.
Yeah.
So you take it with that. But
they had some of that too. I did not know it had larvae in it. They did not tell me that. So they got one over on Amy. they got some insects in me. Well,
they got one on old Amy, huh?
But I will tell you, I like mezcal with grapefruit. I think it's weird because like the bitterness of the grapefruit kind of cuts a little bit of the smoky flavor, but they complement each other very well.
If you want to try something in like a cocktail, more traditional cocktail with some mezcal in there, of course, if you like old fashions, there is the Oaxaca old fashioned. You put, instead of whiskey, you have some mezcal, and then of course the mezcal Negroni. Negronis are famous around the world, so put a little bit of mezcal in there. And of course, they have huge festivals like the Baja Mezcal Fest, which is in Tahona Bay, which is right south of Tijuana. So on the west coast of the U.S. and Mexico, below the U.S.-Mexico border. They do that every April. And of course, the Mezcal Fair in Oaxaca, which usually runs from July to August. And they celebrate all kinds of brands of mezcal.
I just like saying Oaxaca.
Oaxaca.
I like that word.
Yeah, it's a great region. Oaxaca is a region in Mexico, but it's also a great word to just add into ordinary conversation. Hey, did you see those new Oaxacas? We got them 2 for $1.
It's one of those words that when I see it, I always have to take a second because it doesn't look the way it sounds.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I know this word.
Oaxaca, but
how do I say this?
Oaxaca, and it's like it does not even look like that.
No.
When we come back in just a few minutes, we're gonna get into Pisco, which is a drink made from the winemaking regions, which is a spirit from the winemaking regions of like Peru and Chile. And there's a little back and forth, like who created it, where did it come from. And because of that, they don't really put on the labels which country that it's origin from because they don't want people figuring things out, I guess. This is the Unskilled Travel Show. Keep it right here. When we come back, we're going to have more.
Unskilled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. Be sure to find us online, fullmetaltraveler.com. All of our past episodes and interviews. We're coming to you from the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios in Las Vegas, Nevada. Home of the good time. I'm here with my co-explorer, Amy Long. I laughed weird. That's funny.
You did laugh weird.
You'd think we're consuming some adult beverages because we're talking adult beverages and adult spirits from around the world. We were talking about Mezcal, and we got briefly into Pisco, which is a spirit that comes to us from Peru and the Chilean parts of South America. A little bit of back and forth. Who actually discovered it? Now, we talked about Mezcal and how maybe pre-Spanish Mexico it started popping up. Same with Pisco. Pisco, they think it's because the Spanish sailors brought over distilleries, small distills from their conquest. The conquistadors picking up land, colonizing everything. However you feel about all that. Well, they did bring distills, and so you started seeing around the same time Pisco pop up and Mezcal pop up because of these distilling factors and everything. So Pisco is made from grapes.
Oh.
It's fermented grapes.
Okay.
And it is more of because grapes were so abundant and grew so well around Peru and Chile that, it kind of became like a family thing, almost like Limoncello and Italy.
Okay.
Like a lot of families could just do, ferment these grapes right at home and just have this drink.
So is it their version of wine?
Almost.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll admit, I had never heard of this until you told me about it last year when you were first introduced to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to go to San Luis Obispo in California. Beautiful area on the central west coast of California where I met. I went to this restaurant called Mistura. Mistura is a Peruvian place. It's run by Chef Nicola Allegretta, who is a wonderful man. It's a family-run restaurant. Him and his parents and his wife and everyone has a hand in his couple of restaurants in SLO. And, he just has this wonderful story of traveling the world and traveling and like being in all of these different restaurants and kitchens from around the world, learning all these different techniques, blending all of this food. And he's created Mistura, which is one of the best restaurants in San Luis Obispo. And I would reckon in California. Oh. It's really, really amazing. You can go and check him out, Mistura. But he gave me he has a working distill, like in front of his restaurant where he makes individual bottles of Pisco. And he gave me one. They're not for sale. They use them in a lot of their cocktails. Obviously, it's all Pisco based in that restaurant. And he gave me one because I just asked curious questions about, everything that was going on. And so I'll always be grateful for that experience. And some of the popular drinks you can find. The most popular one by far is the Pisco Sour, which is a turn on the whiskey sour that we have here. It involves egg whites, lime juice, simple syrups, and bitters. The Chilean version usually doesn't have any bitters. Now, the back and forth between Peru and Chile about it is like, who created it? Where did it actually come from? Well, the countries kind of came up with a handshake agreement saying, you know what, on the bottles that we do export, you're not going to put Chilean Pisco. You won't put Peruvian Pisco. We'll just say Pisco all together because we don't want to hurt the brand and we don't want people thinking, oh, this one's so much better than this one.
Interesting.
And so,
I find it interesting, though, that a lot of spirits and champagne, things like that, do come from a specific region. And if it's not from that specific region, it technically isn't supposed to be called whatever it's called. Tequila, specifically. There's various types of wines from France. Champagne. It's fascinating because we start using these words as more of a generic term for a certain type of spirit or wine. Yeah. But there are very specific regions that is where it was originated. And that's the true version of that. And that kind of sounds like we're never going to know the true version of where it came from. But, this part of South America, it's one of these two.
And speaking of, which is a good segue, I don't think you even made that up. But the next thing we're going to talk about is Poncha. Poncha was for me a wonderful discovery. I had never heard of it before. I went on a press trip to the island of Madeira, which is owned by Portugal, kind of off of the Moroccan coasts, that area. Madeira is a beautiful island filled with wonderful people who just,
He really liked Madeira.
I really like the place.
He keeps telling me he's going to take me back, but so far.
One day. Poncha is a traditional drink from the island of Madeira. A lot of people can trace its roots back to many different things. So it's kind of like one of those, well, I think my cousin invented it or whatever. But what they think happened is it may be based on an actual, like an Indian drink called Poncha. Poncha, okay. Which punch, or I'm sure I'm butchering the actual naming of it, but the Indian drink called Ponch means 5 in Indian.
Okay.
Yeah, we're talking about the subcontinent of India, which because it has 5 ingredients: alcohol, sugar, lemon water, and usually tea or spices or something like that.
So it's like a lemony type of drink?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is also where the English drink punch kind of originated from as well. Those 5 key ingredients, right? Via the East India Trading Company in the late 17th century. So kind of, again, Madeira was sailors in ports. They're just bringing what they know over from where they're coming from. And this is, I know I'm going to mess this up. Aguardiente de cana, which is basically distilled alcohol made from sugarcane juice. And they still have working distills on the island of Madeira where you could watch them crush sugarcane that they brought in fresh from the fields, and they crush it down to where the juice is coming out, and they take that basically and ferment that juice from the sugarcane. Okay, they mix it with honey, sugar, and with either traditionally orange juice or lemon juice, and that's where you have Poncha.
So it's fermented orange or lemon juice.
No, you mix it.
Oh, you mix it.
It's the aguardiente de cana, the fermented sugarcane juice is the main alcohol. No, I just butchered that.
You lost me there for a second, to be honest. But the part I found interesting is, I think what you're saying is this is where the term punch comes from. Like, these mixed drinks that you can get places.
It's based on like sugar cane and more sugar and honey and things like that. And you put it in a bowl, the punch bowls.
But what does it taste like? You've had it. I haven't had it before.
It's like a sweet little alcoholic drink. It's like sweet, not orange juice, because it kind of cuts the...
Does it taste lemony, like limoncello? Because I know we're about to talk about that.
Yeah, it tastes a little bit like lemony.
Okay.
Lemony. All I know is at one point I was double fisting these drinks. When we come back, we're going to talk to mixologist and the host of the Served Up podcast, Bridget Albert. This is the Unscaled Travel Show.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. As always, you can join us on fullmetaltraveler.com. See, they're already buzzing in, trying to get a hold of me. Our next guest has an extensive background in hospitality and mixology and is one half of the hosting team of the popular and acclaimed podcast Served Up. Bridget Albert also serves as the Senior Director of External Communications for Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits here in Las Vegas. Thanks for joining us today, Bridget.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be on your show.
First off, for those who may not know, let's chat about the Served Up podcast. Tell us a little bit about the show and what your mission is with it.
Yeah, for sure. So Served Up the podcast came out during lockdown. It was a way, for me and my co-host Julie Milroy to reach out to our customers in hospitality as well as the consumer. And we thought, you know what, we're going to do like shows about sanitation because we're all trying to figure out, how to make everything really clean, sanitized, so we didn't get that nasty COVID bug. But, with the social unrest, it immediately just changed into really meaningful conversation with, social justice warriors, with brands doing incredible things for their communities, and just so much more.
Well, I know the popular topic that kind of sitting on everyone's tongue right now is these trends, spirit trends. You're seeing all kinds of things. You're seeing celebrities come out with drinks and different spirits from all over the world. But tell us, being an expert, tell us what you see as far as the trends and spirits that are kind of on the horizon and just making their waves here in the U.S.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple of them. I would say soju is definitely making a splash. Soju is a clear distillate alcoholic beverage. It comes to us from Korea. It's made of like grains, rice, wheat, or sometimes like barley, It can also be made of like starches, like sweet potatoes, but soju is typically very low in alcohol, which low ABV is so hot right now, right? And so compared to other spirits, it really ranges from I think 16 to 25% alcohol by volume. And there are like a couple other stronger versions available. But what's so fun about soju is you can really drink it neat. You can drink it on the rocks. You can mix it. It just has like this little sweet taste and flavors that range it's so crazy from totally neutral and a little bit starchy maybe to floral and fruity, just depending on the ingredients that were used in distillation. But it's definitely a drink that we're seeing, like a distillate that we're seeing that is on the rise here in the U.S.
Ooh, soju. Write that one down, folks. Write it down.
Mm-hmm.
She also gave you some great mixing tips there, too. Are there any global spirits that aren't quite here yet, but may be here stateside within the next, I don't know, year, 2 years, out in maybe a couple years from now?
Yeah, it's so funny. I mean, there are definitely a few things that are happening that have been around for a while in other countries, but are just slowly creeping into our market that have maybe been in the US for a few years that are getting some notoriety. One of them is also baijiu, which is a really strong distillate alcohol. It originates from China. It's typically made from fermented grains, right? Sorghum, barley, rice, millet, other ingredients like that. And it's known for just this really kind of stinky aroma. It's so potent, and it has a high alcohol content, which can be really fun, right? Let's be real. And it can range from 40% to 65% ABV. So it's one of those really strongest spirits in the world. And the flavor is so complex. So depending again, how it's produced, it's how it's really going to taste. So it could be floral, fruity, savory. Sometimes it even tastes a little medicinal, right? So it just depends on what you like. Definitely something for everyone. But here's the thing. It's often drank neat at room temperature or even served warm. But it can be used in cocktails and mixed with absolutely different beverages. But it's one of these ingredients that's definitely on the rise.
Wow. So, folks, if you want a complex palated drink with a certain aroma and you want to be if you want to be that cool person at the party that breaks that out, we got a whole new level for you right there. We're talking with Bridget Albert, co-host of Served Up podcast. A lot of popular drinks that are here in the U.S. now, of course. When you have rum in your drink, you're thinking tropical, you're thinking beaches, you're thinking all of that. But how do certain cultural influences from different countries really shape the way we perceive and enjoy cocktails?
Yeah, you know what? I think it really starts off with Mother Nature. And so when we look at the herbs that they're using, the different fruits that are available during the season, and really putting those ingredients in the glass, things that are tradition to culture as well. and figuring out, if we're already putting this in the dish, how does that translate into a cocktail? And a lot of times those ingredients are an easy fix, like through making syrups or tinctures, like when we're talking about floral, if we're talking about, really pungent herbs or spices. But it's definitely that cultural experience. I always look, at the cuisine first, what's happening in the culture, what is seasonally available by Mother Nature in that part of the world, and then how can we make that really translate in a beautiful way in the glass and make it, delicious. Cocktails should be fun.
I agree with that. To put that on a shirt. Cocktails should be fun. You and I will split the profit. I just want a quarter every time someone buys a shirt.
I love it.
Are there any particular regions or maybe countries that you feel are still kind of underrated in terms of their contributions to what we're seeing in the U.S. beverage scene?
100%. Africa is a big one. Did you know right now today there is at the very first time a cocktail conference happening in Africa, which is so amazing. It's amazing, right? And so they have these beautiful rums, these beautiful wines, and all these great things that are coming out of that region that we will soon be hearing about.
Oh, that's very true. I've never, and I don't have the extensive experience that you have, but I've never really been shown anything from Africa as far as spirits or wines or anything. So I can't wait for that.
Me too. And the fact that they're celebrating it as we speak, we're going to hear about it soon. It's wonderful.
As far as our people out there that do collect the maybe higher quality spirits, or they have their collection at home. I know some guys that collect whiskey. Can you maybe offer up some tips for sourcing and maybe selecting high quality spirits for those cocktails at home?
Yeah. So first of all, taste. Make sure you taste everything. Don't buy a bottle, that you have never tasted before, unless it's something that you can afford, if you don't like it. I think that that's always such a great tip. And don't be afraid. Trust your palate. If there's a brand that you love and it's $9.99, who cares? If you love it, it's your money, honey, right? You enjoy that. You collect that $9.99 bottle. Nobody's going to be scared or mad about it. It is much cheaper to belly up to your favorite bartender and say, hey, man, I want to give that a try, right?
Yeah.
And start out that way. And show the bartender some love and ask the question, like, what do you think? This is what I like. I like those tobacco notes. I like those dark fruit notes, whatever it might be. What bottle can you turn me on to? And let me taste it. And if you love it, awesome. You've only wasted a few bucks.
Bridget and the Unscaled Travel Show giving you permission. Go to the bar. Go to the bar, belly up, ask questions, and find out what your, what your lane is, and go that way. If they want to find you, how do they find the Served Up podcast? How do they follow along?
Oh, thank you for asking me that. So Served Up, you can find it everywhere that podcasts are. And if you love the show, please leave us a review. And if you don't, just don't. It's fine. We won't be offended.
If you don't like it, keep your mouth shut.
Skip it.
We don't.
That's right.
Hear from you. Bridget Albert, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time and your honesty and your hilarity. We can't wait to talk to you again down the road.
Love it. All right. You take care, man. Cheers.
All right. Keep it right here, folks. Unscaled Travel Show. We'll be right back.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. It's Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler, joined as always by Amy Long.
Hi.
And we are talking and celebrating spirits that we've discovered over the last few years of our travels, bringing it to you, cocktails, different festivals you can go attend. We have talked about Mezcal and Pisco from Peru or Chile, depending on where. Thank you so much to Bridget Albert from the Served Up podcast for all that great information. And of course, we're coming to you from the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're going to talk Limoncello.
Limoncello.
Limoncello. There you go. Okay. Limoncello and a little bit of gin from Australia. And I wish you were here in the studio, folks, because it smells very ginny from the block.
We're about to have some drinks.
Oh, yeah. We drinking in here, boy. Yeah. My shirt's about to come off. It's going to get weird.
Well, I don't know if other people do this, but you go somewhere, you buy a bottle of something, and then you bring it home and it sits on the shelf. And we decided now's the perfect time to open some of these bottles and try them.
This would be the perfect episode to try some of from our growing collection of spirits from around the world. So tell the folks where we actually found this. We were on the Amalfi Coast where Limoncello originates from, there in Sicily. And, it's not that old of a drink, actually. It only goes back to, I think, the early 1900s or late 1800s.
I didn't know that. I mean, you always hear people talk about limoncello and it being a drink in Italy. I didn't know that it originated from the Amalfi Coast specifically, but I knew it was an Italian drink. And we were in Rome. We saw it a lot of places. Yeah. And then you and I took the really fun drive through the mountains down to the Amalfi Coast, which whole nother episode, you can hear all about that. But we ended up driving past the city of Amalfi, headed towards Positano, and pulled off on the side of the road where we saw this little store, and it said there was a restaurant. And the top level is the store where they were selling limoncello, and then it's on a cliff, and you walk downstairs, and that's where we ended up having lunch. And this
most beautiful lunch that we've ever had.
Most beautiful lunch overlooking the water and boats out there.
It was so nice, yeah.
So kind of halfway between Amalfi and Positano. And what did you say the name of the place was? Concha de Marini? Something along those lines?
The actual region is Concha de Marini, and I'm sure I'm killing that, but the restaurant was Calahanara, I think.
It was so
a lot
good.
Of A's. Calajanara.
It was
Calahanara
really good.
Restaurant, and it was fantastic. And this is where we got this. What do you think? You're taking your first sips over there.
It's very lemon.
So this is of course
it's not like lemonade lemon.
This is of course the lemon liqueur. They serve it chilled, and it's for after dinner. It's help with the digestion kind of thing, kind of like coffee or Madeiran wine after you eat a big meal or something like that.
So it's not tart like a lemonade.
Yeah.
It definitely has a little bit of a lemon flavor.
Yeah.
But you can absolutely tell that it has alcohol in it. Like it has that little bit of a burn when you swallow.
We talked about this as I talked about it earlier. It's a popular homemade liqueur. Almost every Italian family can make this, and they all have their different versions and spins on it. It goes back a little ways. So, and this is the second most popular liqueur in Italy after Campari.
Okay.
So not right on that level, but kind of close. You drink it straight by sipping. You don't shoot it. It's not a lemon drop that you get at the bar if you're 22.
Well, the thing, I mean, our bottle's not very big, and when we were even buying it, you could get some big bottles, but most of them are
tiny,
are pretty small, and you think, oh well, this is like one drink. But now that I've had a sip, I can see where you pour just a small amount.
And you overlook the Italian countryside where you live, and you're just like, this is good. This is so much better than Las Vegas. A popular cocktail that you can make if you do insist. Now, most people drink it straight, but if you do insist on a cocktail, there are a couple of different versions. I mean, there's probably a lot of different cocktails, but the two most popular, a yellow Negroni. You see Negronis popping up.
Yep.
Has what we talked about earlier, Pisco, Limoncello, Gentian, yellow chartreuse, and Bianco vermouth. So vermouth, chartreuse, Gentian, Limoncello, and Pisco.
We should try to make that since we have
yellow
most
Negroni.
of those items.
And also a yellow belly, which is citrus vodka, limoncello, lemon juice, and sugar syrup. So
I would think since that one has lemon juice in it, and a citrus vodka, it's probably a little more tart. Whereas just sipping the limoncello by itself, it's nice. I think you could have a few sips and you don't feel like puckered.
Speaking of something else that will get you puckered, my recent trips to Australia brought me face to face with gin. Now, you are the gin person.
I do like gin.
Australian gin, distilled kind of the same way. The difference with Australian gin and regular like gin from Europe and things like that is how experimental they tend to get with their gin and the distilling process. Of course, it's all based in juniper berries, but they take those botanical ingredients after the juniper berries and they kind of vary it a lot. So you'll find groups like Four Pillars. Four Pillars is one of the most popular and one of the most celebrated gins in the entire world. And it comes from right outside of Melbourne in the Yarra Valley, which I had the pleasure of being able to visit not too long ago. But they age it in barrels. They use botanicals like Shiraz grapes, which is a different kind of, a grape and everything. But this particular one that we have in front of us right here, you can hear it, comes from the Cherry Hill orchards, and it's based in cherries. Everything they do there has cherries in it, so they ferment the cherries. And they've made this, it's called, what is it called? Where's the bottle?
Blossom Gin.
Blossom Gin.
And when you got this from them, they weren't
even selling it.
They weren't even selling it yet. They were getting ready to start selling it. So
the marketing manager over there slipped me one, and I was like, absolutely. I will always take alcohol.
So we just opened it just during the break.
For the first time?
It's good. I like it.
Oh, wow.
It's a very smooth taste. It's not, some gins are very harsh. Ooh,
yeah, they are.
But this one is smooth. I like it.
Very smooth stuff.
This could be my new summer G&T gin.
Yeah, there you go. Popular drinks, of course, you just said it. Gin and tonic, a gin fizz, or if you want to go back to the U.S. Prohibition era, the bee's knees.
I like bee's knees, too.
And, of course, the Negroni. You can almost make a Negroni from anything. We've mentioned it several times. So we've gone through all of these, but I did want to make a very short moment for mocktails. Mocktails over the last 5 or so years have really exploded on the scene. If you don't like alcohol, or you want all the fun without the alcohol in it, lots of brands are coming out with different mocktails where you can have your favorite drink, like a Paloma.
I do
in a can and ready. All that's minus. The only thing you won't find in it is any alcohol at all. This is from a group called Per Se.
Yeah.
Perse, Per Se. They do mojitos, palomas, all kinds of stuff. You can find it on their, I think of their website, persedrinks.com. I'm trying this for the first time.
I had one the other day. Yeah.
This is part of the review groups. Every once in a while we get sent stuff. We're under no obligation to share it with you guys, but when we do find a product that we like, I'm opening that for the first time. We do share it, and we don't get compensated for it. We just share with you guys what we come across that we like. And here is the Paloma. I know Palomas are some of your favorite drinks.
I enjoy a Paloma. So I tried this the other day, but I'm not going to tell you what I think. I want to hear your thoughts.
I like it.
Do you?
Yeah, grapefruit. Right?
Is.
Palomas, and I'm not normally a grapefruit fan, so. And I also have the mojito here. Let me open up the mojito.
I also enjoy mojitos. It sounds like I drink a lot. I really don't. I just like to have a drink every now and then. For me, the Per Se Paloma was just a tad bit bitter, but I was also drinking it warm, so I wonder if chilled. It probably...
Definitely chilled. The mojito is quite good.
Is it? All right. I guess pass that over here.
Okay,
let me try it.
Here's the Per Se mojito, and then we also got some drinks from Mitra, MITRA, Mitra 9. Okay, these are based in Kava, and here we go. This is real quick. Kava is a crop from the Pacific Islands. It's used in ceremonies, and it's also supposed to be a very relaxing drink. It is. Oh, that's a strawberry watermelon, and that is delicious. Mitra 9. Sparkling strawberry watermelon based in Kava. I like that.
Do you?
Oh, that is going to be... Again,
is that your new summer drink?
No alcohol in it. Nothing like that. Unscaled Travel Show. We'll see you guys next time.